This makes the Dallas Cowboys even scarier. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is promising Cowboys WR in danger of being cut before 2024 season. The Dallas Cowboys could be forced to make some tough cuts prior to the start of the season. As the Cowboys prepare to start training camp later this month, there will be some tight position battles. One of the more notable ones will be at wide receiver, where Dallas will be seeking a third option to pick up the slack behind veteran starters CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. There will be a number of young and unproven receivers vying for the number 3 spot following the offseason departure of Michael Gallup. Based upon Cowboys Wire's KD Drummond's 53-man roster projection, he predicts Dallas to cut second-year receiver Jalen Moreno-Cropper. However, he does expect the Cowboys to bring back the former undrafted free agent on the practice squad. Cropper spent the entire 2023 season on the Cowboys practice squad after he was cut prior to the start of the season. The Fresno State alum had a notable collegiate career, garnering a first-team All-Mountain West selection during the 2022 season after catching 84 passes for 1,093 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was also named a second-team All-Mountain West selection after posting 85 catches for 899 yards and 11 touchdowns during his junior season in 2021, while the 5'11", 172-pound receiver will have to battle the likes of Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, return specialist Cavante Turpin, and 6th-round rookie Ryan Flournoy for the slot receiver role in Dallas. He could make the roster for another reason. As Nick Harris of the Cowboys' official website mentions, the implementation of the new kickoff rules may make Cropper a viable option. Jalen Cropper is one of a handful of 2023 UDFA signings that are eligible to participate in rookie minicamp this weekend, writes Harris. The former production machine at Fresno State may have a better shot at a role in 2024 with the implementation of the new kickoff rules and his returnability. Cowboys coordinator John Fassel has mentioned the potential of having 2 returners on kickoff, which would allow for more opportunities for Cropper, Tyron Billy Johnson, Deuce Vaughn, and others. It's worth noting that Cropper didn't play a major role as a return specialist during his collegiate career. He returned a total of 14 kickoffs for 297 yards, 21.2 yards per average, during his first 2 seasons in college, but didn't record any return stats during his final 2 years. However, if the 24-year-old proves to be a factor in the return game, he could solidify his spot on the 53-man roster. It looks like the walking boot on Dak Prescott's right foot is nothing to worry about. According to ESPN's Todd Archer, Prescott is no longer wearing the boot after being seen wearing it while on vacation in Cabo San Lucas earlier in the week. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott recently suffered a minor right foot sprain that temporarily required a walking boot. Perhaps most importantly, the injury is not expected to affect Prescott when training camp begins on July 25th. The last notable injury Prescott suffered to his right ankle was back during the 2020 season when he suffered a season-ending injury for a compound fracture and dislocation. He hasn't suffered a serious right ankle injury since. The second story is Dalvin Cook signing with Dallas Cowboys would be wise roster move. After a disappointing Dallas Cowboys offseason, Dallas is depending on an older, slower Ezekiel Elliot to spearhead their running attack this season. Last season, Cook signed with the New York Jets to join former division foe Aaron Rodgers for what was, at the time, a potential Super Bowl run. Following Rodgers' injury just 4 plays into the season, the Jets pivoted and gave second-year running back Breece Hall the Lions' share of carries as he returned from a torn ACL the previous season. Cook, once upon a time, was a valuable weapon in the NFL. Could he be again for a Cowboys team that desperately needs juice? We know exactly what Dallas is doing here, and we get it. The Cowboys want to see Rico Dowdle and the rest of the running backs room get to Oxnard and be given a chance. But Zeke's backups compared to Cook's resume, both as a runner and as a pass catcher out of the backfield, they don't have what he has. But the Cowboys could greatly upgrade the weakest running back room in the league if they hit on something here. They need to turn over every stone in search of help, reason enough to at least invite Dalvin Cook to Oxnard for a workout. Believe it or not, CeeDee Lamb is feuding with a former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver on social media. His opposition is none other than Beasley. This beef started with Beasley critiquing Lamb's off-season workouts. He said, "Man, just do some heavy squats and power cleans." A Cowboys fan replied to Beasley's suggestion by pointing out how much more productive Lamb has been in his career so far. Is Cole really trying to tell CeeDee how to train? Beasley has literally never eclipsed 1K yards, the fan said. Lamb is averaging 1,286 yards a year and 599 yards, short of Cole in 4 years versus 11. Beasley wasn't having any of that. "Give me 180 targets off the couch and I eclipse 1,000. Stop looking at stats and check the tape," Beasley replied. "As far as getting open goes, I'm confident I did that with the best of them." Lamb, who earned All-Pro honors in 2023, fired back at Beasley several hours later. "I don't need 180 targets to touch a band," Lamb said. "Pull up tape. I'd match you root for root on getting open. Just chill." Since entering the NFL in 2020, Lamb has hauled in 395 passes for 5,145 yards and 32 touchdowns. He just keeps getting better each year. If we had to pick which player has been more dominant, the edge would go to Lamb. The third story is Dallas Cowboys QB Dak Prescott spotted in walking boot ahead of training camp. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has been spotted using a walking boot ahead of training camp. An image circulating online shows a boot around Prescott's right foot and ankle while vacationing in Cabo San Lucas with girlfriend Sarah Jane Ramos. The boot is on the same ankle that Prescott injured in 2020, when he suffered a season-ending compound fracture and dislocation. The extent of Prescott's injury, however, is not clear. All eyes have been on Prescott as he prepares to enter the final year of his 4-year, $160 million contract. Prescott, a 3-time Pro Bowl selection, led the NFL in touchdown passes, 36, and completions, 410, last season, and was second in the MVP voting behind Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, but the Cowboys' campaign resulted in yet another first-round playoff exit. Prescott has not signed a contract extension with Dallas, as training camp approaches July 25th. Despite not receiving a new deal, Prescott said he's only focused on being my best for this team right now. "I don't play for money. Never have, never cared for it, to be honest with you. Yeah," Prescott said in May. "Would give it up just to play this game. So, I allow that to the business people to say what it's worth, what they're supposed to give a quarterback of my play, a person of my play, a leader of my play. For me, it's about, as I said, control what I can control and handle that part, and the rest will take care of itself." Prescott has dealt with numerous injuries during his 8-year career. He suffered a season-ending injury to his right ankle in the Cowboys' Week 5 win against the New York Giants in 2020. He suffered a right calf sprain in the Cowboys' Week 6 win over the New England Patriots in 2021 and missed the following game. He fractured his right thumb on his throwing hand in the Cowboys' season-opening loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2022, requiring surgery. He missed 5 games as a result. Dak Prescott enters 2024 without any security beyond this year. The Dallas Cowboys are again playing hardball in contract negotiations despite continued production from their star quarterback. Prescott has led them to a record of 73-41 in the regular season, and while his lack of playoff success is a constant talking point, he typically has his team in contention. With 8 seasons under his belt, he also has some impressive numbers. He has 29,559 yards for his career with 202 touchdowns and 74 interceptions. That's enough for him to be third in passing yardage behind Troy Aikman, 32,942, and Tony Romo, 34,183. He's second in touchdowns behind Romo, who has 248. Needing 46 touchdowns to catch Romo makes catching him a long shot for 2024. Prescott's career high in touchdowns came in 2021 when he had 37. He put up 36 this past season, so he's likely to come close to Romo, but he needs to be on the roster in 2025 to threaten his mark realistically. Passing yardage is a different story. He's currently just 3,483 yards behind Aikman. With a career average of 258.4 yards per game, he could pass that in 14 starts. If he plays to the top of his potential, he could also threaten Romo, who has a lead of 4,724 yards. While such yardage isn't typical, Prescott can hit that number. He proved that with his career high for a single season in 2019, when he had 4,902 yards, 1 yard shy of Romo's single-season record. Dallas is predicted to eventually re-sign Prescott, and if they do, he will put himself at number 1 overall in every major passing category in franchise history. As impressive as that is, he will never get the respect he deserves unless the Cowboys win it all. That's how this position is ultimately judged.